I'm the legend from the Paul Feinbaum Show, and I'm in the starting lineup.
I'm Terry Quillian, and I'll be in the starting lineup every Saturday morning.
I'm Case Kiefer, and I'm part of the starting lineup.
The starting lineup, 10:30 to 11 on ABC 3340 every Saturday morning. Hey, welcome back to another starting lineup with Kip Kiefer, Tony Curry every Saturday morning, 10:30 to 11 o'clock. Of course, we started this show back in, was it November, September, October, something like that?
No, it's before football season, so It had to been like last August.
And we're going all the way through this football season. We're super excited because that 11 o'clock slot, which is normally kind of a throwaway game. We're used to watching Big Ten games at 11 o'clock slot. It's on ABC.
You mean Navy and Rice isn't exciting?
well, yes, it is. It is. But the SEC is just slightly more exciting.
I would say so.
Our show is going to butt up against that SEC early game of the week.
Right
and
here.
Of course, the first game, Clemson and Georgia. So it's going to be fantastic. So we're looking forward to that. And people are like, why are you talking about college football already? We're inside of 100 days already, so we're looking forward to that. Lots going on in the college football world, and I want to ask you something that's totally unrelated. We've got this lawsuit that's going on with the antitrust lawsuit. It looks like everything's being rubber stamped through. And it appears they're going to stay out of court, but it looks like it's going to be billions and billions and billions of dollars. Any thoughts on that?
A lot of thoughts. The suit is called House versus NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
The House is a guy named Grant House, who was a champion swimmer at Arizona State, who has sued and made it a class action suit, getting almost every athlete that's participated in collegiate athletics since 2016 into the suit that they are owed compensation for their efforts.
Yep.
So however you kind of weigh in on that, but the NCAA is in a position where they are kind of waving the white flag. They know they're not going to win that lawsuit. So the settlement, Tony, is $2.8 billion to all those athletes in that suit that they'll divide up, and who knows how that's going to go. But the bottom line is, it's over a 10-year period, so it's just a ridiculous amount of money every month or every year that's going to be paid to these athletes. And you wonder how the NCAA could sustain that. It's just amazing what's happened in the last couple of years, but $2.8 billion settlement.
The numbers are crazy, and there's really no sake in even bringing them up. I've heard the number $122 billion, if in fact it had gone to court.
But there's some other suits, so they're not out of the woods yet.
No, it's not, and it goes back 8 years, so it's a retroactive situation. I don't know why it only goes back 8 years. Why not go back 20 years?
Yeah. What if you'd have played in 2015?
Yeah.
What about me?
$127 million a year is what I saw the NCAA is going to have to pay into this slush fund, if you will, in order to pay these people off. The other thing is that I think is amazing is because we're taking amateurism out of college sports, now all of a sudden every college football team, D1 team, is going to be told that they need to come up with about $20 to $30 million annually to be able to take care of everything that this new pay-for-play situation is going to look like. For the UABs of the world, the Rices, the Navies, $30 million is $30 million. For the Alabamas, that could be just a booster making a phone call on a late Saturday night. And knowing that roughly 5 to 6 to maybe 7 teams on average annually actually make money playing college football is a scary proposition because we got 130 teams out there. Listen, the money's great and the money's coming in, but not everyone's rich like they think it is. And I've talked to Mark Ingram numerous times from UAB. He's the athletic director. He's like, we've got so many other different things we need to spend our money on. It's not like they don't have a rainy day fund. Everything that comes in goes back out. So this is another situation where we're going to have to come up with a $20 or $30 million pot in order to take care of their players.
You know, it's kind of staggering when you think about it because this suit is really about the NIL, which we talked about last week. Name, image, likeness. These folks sued Grant House and all of his co-litigants sued that the NCAA rules prohibited them from marketing their own image, which is really unconstitutional if you really get right down to it. If you're noteworthy enough to go out and sell your name or put your name on a product or make appearances for a company, you should be able to do that, and that's what that suit's about. But there's other suits pending. Right now, Rashada, the young man from out in California, who had his deal fall apart with Florida last year when the collective, which is the boosters, had agreed to give him $1.5 million just to come to Florida.
Yep.
And then right when he got ready to sign, they said, we can't do that. We had to pull back. He has now sued Florida and head coach Billy Napier personally, and Florida just said yesterday, we got nothing to do with that. The University of Florida Athletic Department's not involved in that. That's all. That's the coach's problem.
You're going to throw that umbrella over.
So
whoever's got money is going to go over.
This thing is like, if you had really bad weed problem in your yard, one pops up, you go, look at that gnarly thing, and you pull it out, and the next day there's 50 other ones bigger and badder than that weed. That's exactly what NCAA college athletics is about right now.
Well, now that it's legally here medicinally, we're going to have more weed problems. So, yes.
No kidding. Yeah.
You'd be calling
a lot of athletic directors going to be smoking a lot of weed.
I've got to hold of some bad weed. He is Kip Keefer. I'm Tony Curry. Terry Quillian joins us on the show weekly, and we're looking forward to hearing from her. Case Keefer also, perhaps some futures plays. We got the NBA playoffs going right now. The playoffs have been fantastic. A couple of Game 7s already. And, of course, we also have the legend, the man, the myth, the legend. You like him, you love him, you can't live without him. He's going to join us here for his forecast coming up in a few seconds. I wanted to bring up a story because you and I do a lot of shows together. You have Need to Know on the Tony Curry Radio Network. We also do a show called Kiefer and Curry. We talk about everything. We're two guys in our 50s. We're not married. We've been married. We've been divorced. There was a story that went viral this past week where this 27-year-old female went out with a 35-year-old male. 8 years difference, right? Mm-hmm. They evidently went out on a first date and had a nice time. He texted her the next morning, hey, I had a great time last night. Have a good day. Hey, had a great time last night. Have a good day.
Okay.
She takes that and posts it on her social media and says, what do you think about this? I had a date last night with this guy. What do you think about this? And it went viral. It got retweeted like 500 million times. She obviously put it out there because she thought it was somewhat lame, and she goes, "Now I know I don't date 30-year-olds. They're just lame. There's no emojis. There's no fireworks going off. It's like, have a good day. Who are you? You just went on a date. And you're telling me to have a good day. What's this all about?" So about half the people said, "Listen, I think it was absolutely kind. It was keen. It was nice. It was mature.
That's the polite thing to do."
Dude did the polite thing. We dating didn't have texts. We had to make the phone call, and we had the 2-day rule, right? You didn't call a woman right after the date or right after you met her. You waited a couple days to let it simmer, because if you called her too soon, it looked like you were trying too hard. And for him to write that, the thing is, she liked this guy, and she wanted to go out with him again, and then she puts it out on her social media, and so she's getting barbecued for it. So I ask you the question, should a dude have done something different? What did he do wrong?
Well, I can tell you, I guess I have no shot whatsoever because I have never used an emoji in my life. I am very good with the spoken and written word. I really don't need to put little symbols to illustrate my thoughts. So if that's a criteria, Kip Keefer is a dead man walking, I guess, in terms of social relationships. What that guy did was just a polite, hey, I had a great time, thanks, have a wonderful day. That's probably something I would have done, so no wonder I strike out more than the current Atlanta Braves.
Someone actually laughed at it and said it probably took the guy about 12 hours to come up with that text. He's probably sitting there thinking, okay, now I need to make sure this sounds right. No, this is not right. Yeah. And that's about as basic as it gets. And again, all I hear about is women out there on all these dating apps saying, where are all the good guys at? There are no good men out there anymore. Here you got a nice guy who's 8 years older than you, is a professional, he's got a good job. He took you out on a nice date, you had a nice time, and then is kind enough the next day to say, listen, I had a wonderful time with you. What is a little too soon? Perhaps, but at the age of 35, 36, you're done playing games, man. You just want to go out and have a good time. You're looking for the camaraderie. You're looking for someone just to hang out with, hold hands, watch television. We talk about that all the time. He does the right thing, and what's she do? She puts that on social media because she thinks it's lame.
And Tony, let's face it, at our age, you and I are primetime players. We're not married and we're not crazy.
No.
That should make us a slam dunk.
But man, are we rich. We have got some serious checks.
Yeah, I got money in every pocket. If I had more pockets, I'd have more money.
Just saying. Speaking of money, ESPN's paying $1.2 billion annually for the CFP. And of course, 12 teams, now 14 teams. And then they kind of backdoored it and subleased it, which I didn't know they could actually do, to TNT. So it appears TNT is going to have the first and second rounds of the college football playoffs. You okay with that?
Yeah, it's what CBS has done with the NCAA tournament as well. I mean, that is kind of the current trend. Go ahead and sell off little pieces to all these smaller networks. And it works well for everybody, I guess, because they recover a lot of their investment and have it on multiple platforms. So as long as the entities, and I'm sure that's all contractual, that they have an ability to do that, I'm good with that. I have no problem whatsoever. I can find those channels. I wish it was all in one place, but it's not practical in this day and time.
Yeah, I love turning on True TV the next morning because there's always a show on going, what in the hell is this?
Yeah,
what was I watching last night?
As long as it doesn't go to Apple and Amazon and all that stuff that, you have to buy and subscribe to, which I'm sure it's going to show up there too, but that's my only concern.
Another monster show. You never knew who's going to join us. This is the starting lineup.
The Birmingham Racecourse Casino turns dreams into reality. Like Roger M., who just won over $51,000. And Rebecca, celebrating a life-changing jackpot of $160,000. You could be the next to dance the Icky Shuffle with a big win.
Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! And you can be a winner too!
Don't miss your chance to be our next big winner at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino.
Things are rolling at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Everybody coming on every day of the week, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, having a big time. And those entertainment dollars are going to a lot of important places around our city. One of the recipients of some of that revenue is the Alabama Wildlife Center, located out at Oak Mountain Park. And you need to check out what's happening with that particular operation. Let's take a quick look at a video with Director Mike Sykes talking about the Alabama Wildlife Center.
My name is Chris Sykes, and I'm the Executive Director at the Alabama Wildlife Center. The Alabama Wildlife Center is Alabama's oldest and largest wildlife rehabilitation facility. We've been a nonprofit for 45 years. We've been in Oak Mountain State Park for upwards of 35 years. We have a dual mission of rehabilitation of injured and orphaned birds of Alabama, and also education. The money that we receive from the Birmingham Racing Commission is so incredibly important to our organization. We take in upwards of 2,000 injured birds each year. So as a nonprofit, public funds is so vital to keep our organization going, to keep our mission alive and healthy, and we wouldn't be able to do the work that we're doing without the Birmingham Racing Commission. Whenever you come to the Alabama Wildlife Center, it's a family-friendly place that you can raise your kids, you can teach them about the importance of wildlife, and you might meet some feathered friends that are glove trained. You never know what you're going to expect at the Alabama Wildlife Center. For more information about our organization and our mission and what you can do to help us, visit our website at alabamawildlifecenter.org.
We're inside 100 days till college football, and of course, something I love is college sports, period. I did it for over 25 years. I worked up at ESPN for a while. Of course, I did Classic Rock as well. I put it all together, create my own radio station, TKR, and then I threw some politics in with, of course, Kip Kiefer and Need to Know, the Kiefer and Curry Show. We have a show with Leonard Skinner we do every week, ZZ Top. We do great shows, give back, non-for-profit shows, like, of course, the fine folks down there, Feeding America down there in Montgomery. They do wonderful works, and Michael Coleman. So we do all kinds of really good work. You can get all these shows, and they're special, they're unique. You can only hear them on TKR, at least 13 shows a week. With college football coming around the corner, we have some very special shows that are going to be kicking off with UAB, and also some classic rock icons coming up a little bit later on this summer and this fall. So make sure you get the TKR app. That's TKR, there's 3 little letters, TKR. It's free, takes you about 10 seconds, and you're good to go. A man takes a little longer than 10 seconds. Sometimes a little longer than 10 minutes, but we'll take them because we love them. Here's the legend here in the starting lineup.
Oh, it's a Love Boat Saturday here on the starting lineup with the Golden Boys. You heard the great Kip Kiefer and Tony Curry break down their dating life to you. Tony looked like he may hit a double. Kip may strike out at any moment. We just don't know about them two. But I want to break down the Legends dating life for you and speak to all you folks that are alone out there that just love being by yourself. This is my philosophy on it. I don't want a relationship. I've had 2 marriages. I don't want a third. Now, I love women. I've always been respectful to women. I cherish women. But oh, I love Legend more. I love being by myself. Nothing wrong with being by yourself, ladies and gentlemen, on a Love Boat Saturday right here on the starting lineup, with an exception. If you are a millionaire woman and you are old, about to kick the bucket, Legend is your man. I will drive you wherever you need to go. I'll take you to all your appointments as long as I can sit around the pool, drink martinis and smoke cigars, ladies and gentlemen. Baby, I am your man. I am your man. So with that exception, nothing wrong with being alone. Now let's get down with some football, ladies and gentlemen. Right there, let's talk about the Legends' real love. Oh, this is it. This is it. This is what I've always really loved, ladies and gentlemen. Less than 100 days to Alabama football. And some questions from fans this week. Molly from I think that's Ringwood, Alabama. She wants to know 5 breakout players for Alabama this year. So let me break it down right quick for you, Molly. Jermaine, listen to me. Jermaine, yes, came from Washington, the wide receiver, but he's going to be a star. Look for number 5 at the spring game. He is going to be a star for you. Justice Haynes out of the backfield, he's going to be a star too. I really like our backfield. Jam Miller and Justice Haynes, I think both of them guys are going to break out big for Alabama this year. Look for Alabama to have the most exciting backfield in the entire country this year, ladies and gentlemen. Jalen Melrose under center, Hamlet to Jam, Hamlet to Justice. Oh, we're coming for you, Georgia Bulldog. You might think you're the best team in the nation, but you know who your daddy is. You know who your daddy is. Tell him, Bear. Tell all them Bulldogs up in heaven who their daddy is. We know who your daddy is. Another player to look for this season, ladies and gentlemen, really keep an eye on Devontae Smith. And I'm not talking about the Heisman Trophy wide receiver. We got a defensive back named Devontae Smith. He has been tearing it up in the spring down there. The coaches are raving about this kid. They also say they love a kid named Red Morgan. I like that name, Red. Get him, Red. Get him, Red. Oh, I love it. Yeah, I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is my love. I love it. Can't you tell? Women, listen, ladies, I just can't have that enthusiasm about you. I'm just not giving a talk. But when it comes to football, I don't know, crazy! But I love it. I love it. You love Alabama football too, ladies and gentlemen. Next question comes from Stan from Elmore. He wants to know the 3 best coaches in the SEC. Well, you got to start, I guess, with that cheater, the guy that stole our recruiting board and took it to Georgia and won a championship acting like Nick Saban. I guess you got to say Kirby's number 1, but I put Kevin DeBoer right there at number 2. Who would be number 3? Well, I just don't know. There's a bunch of them out there that could be number 3. I can tell you it ain't Brian Kelly. It ain't Billy Napier. It's probably the guy at Tennessee to be Heupel. Probably number 3 would be Heupel. But we're less than 100 days away, ladies and gentlemen. Don't that excite you? 100 days away from another season of Alabama football. Baseball just don't do it for me. I love baseball, but it just don't do it for me. Hockey? Who could stand to watch hockey? How can anybody watch hockey? I can't watch hockey. Who watches hockey? Who's crazy enough to watch hockey? Soccer? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Who watches soccer? Who? It's only Alabama football. Legends' true love. My true love. Remember, it's just a game. Don't be like the legend. Plum. Heart insane.
Hey, I hope you're catching our brand new show on Jocks, WJOX 94.5 FM here in Birmingham. Saturday mornings, 8 to 10. I'm getting up early because I'm excited to set the stage for you for the weekend sports scene on Jocks Game Time. Kip Kiefer, Terry Quillian, come to you every Saturday, and we are really excited with the coming of football season. We're going to dominate the airwaves with Game Time on Saturday morning on Jocks, the starting lineup here right before kickoff on ABC, and our 8th year of the morning after on Jocks on Sundays 9 to 11. Don't miss it. We will get you fired up for everything happening in sports on Jocks Game Time, Saturday mornings, 8 to 10, 94.5, or streaming live at jocksfm.com. Now, speaking of red-hot information, Case Kiefer told us the week after the Masters, which was an April 13th show, that the guy to bet in the PGA Championship was Xander Schauffele. He was 21 to 1 at that point. If you'd have plucked down a $100 bill, you'd be having $2,100 in your pocket as we speak. And if you bet more, you'd have a lot more. Great information. He continued to reinforce that right up to the first swing of the tournament. Schauffele, of course, won in dramatic fashion last Sunday. Let's see what Case has on his plate this week with our weekly Vegas insider, Case Kiefer from the desert.
Hey, it's Case Kiefer coming to you from Las Vegas again with my weekly best bet segment for the starting lineup. And now Jocks' Game Time, a celebratory tone this week. It was a big week last week, not only personally, but more importantly on the show. If you have listened, set the bar pretty high with our golf bets going into the Masters. I guess 2 months before the Masters, right after the Super Bowl in February, I gave out Scotty Scheffler at 10 to 1 on the show. Of course, he waltzes into his second Masters victory. And then I believe I only gave out one PGA Championship outright a month ahead of time. Xander Schauffele, 21 to 1. He gets it done as well. I don't know if we can keep doing this every major, but we might as well try. I also hope you took advantage of last week. I said on the show that if Xander is in contention late, get on him going into the last round. I thought his odds were going to be inflated because of his reputation as a choker and a guy who can't get it done. And man, that came to fruition. He was plus 275 going into the final round, which is just ridiculous for one of the best players in the world, a player of his caliber. I was able to get down a little bit more. I wish I was even more aggressive and went more, but even if just one of you followed that advice and got more, it makes it worth it. Could not have gone better as far as the PGA. And I'd love to say I could sit here right now and give out a super confident pick for the U.S. Open next month at Pinehurst 2 to keep it going. And I have made some bets, but to be honest, I'm not as confident as any of those last two things. I know it's easy to say in hindsight, but I think if you went back and listened to how confident I was in those, you would understand why. And I can tell you exactly why I'm not as confident going into the U.S. Open, and it is Scotty Scheffler. I came into the year, even before he was red hot, I figured if he figured out his putting, he was going to win 2 majors this year, the Masters and the U.S. Open. You can scratch off the Masters, and I think he should be a prohibitive favorite for the U.S. Open next. And, of course, he is a prohibitive favorite. The best price I'm seeing is plus 450, and that's just a little too short for me in a major, the rare times now where we get all the best players in the world together. I'm not saying I'm not going to bet Scotty Scheffler, but I just need a little bit better than plus 450. Hopefully he comes back to the pack a little bit in the time or two we see him before then, starting this week at the Charles Schwab Challenge. I think my buy point on him is 6 to 1. It may not seem like a huge difference from plus 450, but if you want to do this at a high level, if you want to be successful, you need to be price sensitive. That's like a 4% difference in win equity, and then these big of fields, with as tough as they are, I think that's a big deal. So I'm waiting for 6 to 1 on Scotty Scheffler, and I think it could happen. Some of the big books, some of the books with lower hold percentages have yet to open the U.S. Open market, so I'm hopeful that he doesn't play quite as well as he has been, which has been at the best pace since prime Tiger Woods, so that's hard to think he's going to slow down, but if we can get 6 to 1 on Scotty Scheffler, I will be on him. But just out of obligation, since I've been giving one early all the time, I will give one guy I already bet for the U.S. Open. That is the third place finisher at the PGA. I went with Victor Hovland at 25 to 1, more commonly available 20 to 1. I guess that's okay. I would not go any lower than that. Preferably I want 22 to 1 or better, but Victor Hovland, I mean, we have short memories in sports, but you go back to just the end of last year, or the end of last year's golf season at least, August, July, he was the Scotty Scheffler. He was the best player in the world, won the Tour Championship, was just killing everyone, then went through a little bit of a downswing, wasn't himself, but last week he looked back in vintage form. He got back with one of his main short game coaches, Joey Mayo. I think he might have just tinkered too much. I think maybe he's getting back to basics now. I know this is kind of an easy narrative to assign after he's had some success, but we have a little bit of a track record of how good he can be from the end of last year too. So if you can get better than 20 to 1, especially, like I said, I got 25 to 1. I think Victor Hovland will be the bet I will give out, with maybe eyes on going to Scotty Scheffler long term. And of course, golf was the headliner last week, how he did good on the show, but the NHL also shaping up really well for us. I've been building a Conn Smythe portfolio throughout the postseason. So far, we have Leon Draisaitl at 30-1, Matthew Tkachuk at 18-1, and I got to tell you, I think it's going to be Florida Edmonton in the Stanley Cup Final. We came into the playoffs, and I said these were the two teams to bet. I liked Dallas and Carolina probably just as much. I think I said on the show, but I kind of got lucky as far as recording the show. I thought the Carolina price had moved too much, and you couldn't take them. And Dallas, I just thought the path was going to be really tough. And I think that's played out too. Dallas had to beat Vegas in 7 games in a series that easily could have gone the other way. And the Colorado series, even though they won in 6, was relatively tight too. Who knows what happens if Valeri Nichushkin wasn't ruled out and going through his latest set of trouble. So I think it's going to be Edmonton and Florida. I'm happy with 30-1 on Draisaitl, 18-1 on Matthew Tkachuk. And I'm just going to go ahead right now and add the 7-1 on Connor McDavid. This could look really dumb by the time this airs because this is before Game 1. But if they lose Game 1, hopefully you can get a better price on him. I just think Edmonton's star power is ultimately going to outweigh Dallas's depth. Dallas's depth is obviously great, but I like Edmonton in this series, and I just have hard-pressed time to think that if Connor McDavid, the best player in the world, is in the Stanley Cup and wins it, they don't give him the Conn Smythe. So the ads this week, Victor Hovland at 25-1 to win the U.S. Open, and Connor McDavid 7-1 to win the Conn Smythe. Thanks for listening each and every week.
Southern Precision Staffing, one of our great sponsors here in the starting lineup. Kai Gregory was supposed to be on the show today, but of course he's got graduations. Everyone's graduating this year. It seems like everyone's a senior, man. It's fantastic. Congratulations to him and his entire family. He'll join us next week. Getting ready for Major League Baseball. We're getting down to, of course, the big game here in Birmingham we're looking forward to between, of course, the Giants and the Cardinals, correct?
Yeah, the Rick Boyd Classic.
And, of course, we've got the Midsummer Classic coming up, and, of course, the NBA playoffs, which seem like they go on forever. And I love the NBA playoffs. This has been fantastic. College football right around the corner. It's been wonderful. Southern Precision Staffing wants to make sure that no matter what your situation is, you're banged up, your staff is good to go. You need one person, you need 101 people. Check out Southern Precision Staffing, 205-682-2828. 205-682-2828, where your word and your handshake still means something. That's nice. They're right here in Hoover, Alabama. They serve the United States of America, just like Kip Kiefer and Tony Curry in the starting lineup does every single Saturday morning right here on ABC 3340. You had some big winners this past weekend.
Oh, man.
The Belmont is the last stone, if you will, in that Triple Crown. Do you have a pick already, getting ready for that big race?
I'm not sure yet. I'm going to look at it for another week, so because the Belmont's completely different this year, Tony, because the actual track Belmont has been under reconstruction, and they're really kind of messing with everything, changing the track and the building, and it's not ready. Mm-hmm. So the Belmont Stakes this year will be at historic Saratoga,
How about that?
Which is really exciting in a couple of weeks on June 18th. And they can't run 1.5 miles there. They don't have that configuration of a racetrack. So the Belmont's only going to be 1.25 mile race, the same distance as the Kentucky Derby, which opens the door to a lot of other horses being in. So we're not sure all who's going to be entered yet. But I can tell you that my good friend who was on my show last week on Jocks, Chip Lake, owns a major portion of Seize the Gray, who won the Preakness. And he was our guest on the show. All the great karma he got from Kip and Terry translated into a win in the Preakness, and that was very exciting to see. So congratulations to Chip. We'll have him on the show talking college football. He's my Auburn go-to guy in football season. So it was an exciting weekend, and there's still a lot of great sports coming up.
Sounds like going after a sugar daddy. Seize the Gray. They may be saying about that, you and me, soon enough. Seize the Gray in case we're starting to run, baby. And down the stretch they come. Another fantastic show. You never know who's going to be on the show. We'll do it every single week right here on ABC 3340 from 10:30 to 11 o'clock. And, of course, we're inside 100 days till college football. For Kip Kiefer, Tony Curry, and the rest of the crew, have yourself a fantastic weekend and a wonderful Saturday.
It's right around the corner. Let's tee it up.